The season's nearly here. Expectations building for the Vikings' new season. We're breaking it down with a Vikings insider. Is there a larger legend of Minnesota hockey than Herb Brooks? A Herb celebration ahead to tell you about and more with his son. Who are the top 100 Minnesota hockey players? We're breaking that down. And as summer wanes, racing rages. We fill you in with Rooster Tails to boot. It's all ahead. It's Game On. We're nestled and tucked in amongst spectacular buildings in downtown Minneapolis. We're coming to you from 7 Steakhouse, Sushi, Ultralounge, and Skybar in the heart of downtown Minneapolis for the second season of Game On. And welcome once again to You Found Game On, powered by 7, the event destination. I'm Rod Simons, delighted to have you with us. And with the second season, we have a lot of football to talk about, the start of school, the ending of summer, heck, hardly like we had any summer, and so much on our sports radar. So we're delighted that you have found us on this Sunday. Let's get after it. And as always, we start Game On by the numbers. The Vikings open their regular season September 11th in San Diego, 2 preseason games left. The Twins get the Yankees later today, Baltimore and Detroit on this long Target Field homestand. The Lynx with 8 games left as they push towards the playoffs. And get this, 20 days until high school fall sports return. And delighted to start our second season with the man who opened our first season show, Greg Colman, back in the house.
How are you, Rod?
Great to see you.
Good to see you. Good to be here, man.
Football is back. We were talking during my golf tournament late June. You weren't nervous, but you said, we got to get this thing solved.
I said they would get it done. Nope, and everybody was a little nervous because it affects so many different people. They got it done a little bit late, and the disadvantage, as you can well see, is for the younger guys, the rookies who don't get a lot of reps, in practice, didn't get a lot of clock time against Seattle. So those are the guys that are disadvantaged. But, it is what it is.
2 preseason games down, the ones on the road. Welcome back from Seattle. 2 at home. Let's look ahead a little bit. This football team still has a lot of work to do, but you think they'll be ready for the regular season?
I think so, and starting next week against the Dallas Cowboys, because Dallas has a lot to prove. The third game is normally where you get a good test of your veterans.
A lot of playing time.
Absolutely, probably into the third quarter.
Wow.
That's probably what Leslie will do with some of these guys, even guarded as that might be. But this is a tune-up. This is a final tune-up because they're not going to get much against Houston, and then it's September 11th out in San Diego, and it's all it's everything go.
This football team, I think, just from watching and from the practices and the 2 preseason games, I like what they're doing. I think they'll eventually get there. I think they'll actually exceed expectations.
Well, 2 things. Number 1, you've got Leslie Frazier in. It's a whole different feel, whole different vibe. You know who your quarterback is going to be. The circus is not in town. With all of the Brett and, Viking 1 going down to Hattiesburg, Mississippi and all that stuff. So you don't have all of that. But what you do have, you have a quarterback with a chip on his shoulder in Donovan McNabb. So he's got a lot to prove. We've seen glimpses of the old Donovan. He told me the other night, he said, I still got some juice in these legs, man. So I'm even surprised at myself.
I look back at that first preseason game at Tennessee, when the pocket collapsed, he stepped up and then he rolled out. We haven't seen that in a couple of years here.
But you know what? It's a new lease on life. So when you get that second adrenaline, when you get that second chance, second or third chance in his case, but he knows that he's surrounded himself. He's got an Adrian Peterson in the backfield. He's got a Prashanto Shenko. He's got Percy Harvin, Bernard Berry, and Michael Jenkins. He's got a lot of weapons that he did not have in Washington and maybe even going back to Philly.
Yeah, we have more to talk about the Vikings. The regular season's coming up. Greg's got a very, very special golf day coming up too. We'll talk about that. Don't forget, you can get all the latest updates and everything you want to see about the show at our website, GameOnTVMN.com. Great blogs, Vikings covered by Shocker's Locker and all of us, and the Twins Insider is Brandon on baseball. We talk Wolves, Wild, MMA. All your shows are right there too. We link you to our Viking partner site, purplepride.org. Check us out. It's GameOnTVMN.com. Time now for fans to weigh in. Voice of the Fan brought to us by Fan HQ at Ridgedale Mall. We're looking forward with the Twins. What's up in the outfield and at DH?
Well, the one thing you got to consider is if you really want to bring back a guy like Jason Kubel or a guy like Michael Kadai or whatnot, you've got some young guys like Joe Benson and Ben Revere coming up through the system. If you want to save some money, you could move on. But at the same time, you need the versatility that Kadai brings as well as the clubhouse presence. And Kubel's no slouch as a DH on the left-handed side. So you really got to try keep both of those guys around if you're going to have any chance of contending next year.
What are you doing?
You can write on these new Bud Light labels. So I'm sending out 12-ounce invitations.
Here we go.
Yes. Oh, hold on.
How many people do we invite?
About 8 cases worth.
For limited time only, the new My Bud Light bottle with a special label that lets you use a key or coin to write your name, number, whatever. Here we go.
Matt, come on. Seriously?
Pick up the latest issue of Wheels of Thunder magazine. If it's on wheels, you'll find it in Wheels of Thunder. Full color photos of bikes, trikes, cars, trucks, and even sleds. High performance or right off the street. Mind-blowing power, speed, and custom touches. It's all in Wheels of Thunder magazine. Plus, find out about the latest races, rallies, and custom products and services in your area. Check out Wheels of Thunder on Facebook and follow them on Twitter. Wheels of Thunder.
You know, when you join us here at 7, we got you covered with a free charge for that cell phone of yours. The T-Mobile mobile charging station will take care of you and put a charge back into your phone. And what would we do without Facebook at big events, huh? It's all courtesy of T-Mobile and 7. Welcome back. It's Game On, powered by 7, your event destination. Rod Simons with the man, Greg Colman. Good to have you in the house. When we talk about the Vikings, and there's going to be plenty of time to talk about the season ahead, but when you look at the last 2 seasons, are the Vikings better off by leaving a lot of the parts behind that were maybe dragging them down last year?
Well, it's hard to say, Rod, because when those parts were working,
right,
2 years ago, everybody was happy. I mean, we were one play away from the Super Bowl, so I can't really say that we're better off. But as you well know, things change. And regardless to how great you are, you will be like me one day, a man of a certain age. So you turn the page, but you bring in, because it's always attrition. And right now, this is Donovan McNabb's team, Adrian Peterson's team, and we're going to have to mix and match on the defense because Pat Williams is gone, LaTroy Guion stepping in, Medill Williams gone. We don't, there are a lot of moving parts, but I still believe in this football team.
I get a lot of emails from people, and we are referencing number 4. A lot of jerseys still out there, a lot of people divided.
Oh, but wait a minute. There's nothing wrong with that jersey right now, because that jersey is still going to be, at Metrodome, Chris Cluey. I mean, my frat brother. What else can we say? Brothers are the same lives, a little different kind of guy. But you know what? You got to love it.
And when you look at the team itself, do you expect them to be better than some of the people predict them to be?
I absolutely do, because again, the one thing that you can have so many things down on paper. Right. You can predict so many things, but what you can't predict is what's in here. And again, I say that Donovan has a chip on his shoulder. The guys are still, gelling together. It's a good bunch. There are no real distractions and all that kind of stuff. And you got a man at the helm in Leslie Frazier who's leading this team, and I like his charge.
If you love to play golf and love to be a part of big events, you have a very special golf tournament coming up in just a couple of days here. Tell us about it.
Well, it's the University YMCA, and it benefits our mentoring and tutoring program. We have about 650 young people that we touch and mentor using the university students, and it's just a great program. I'll tell you this quick story. We took some kids out to the 3M Senior Open. Tom Watson came out, spent about 25 minutes with the kids. Bobby Clampett gave a putting lesson. Ben Crenshaw gave a short chipping game lesson. experiences that kids never would have gained had they not been a part of the program. We partnered with the First Tee program out at Victory Link, so it's just, all is well with the program.
I've golfed there, been very blessed to golf there the last couple of years. It is an amazing day at Victory Links in Blaine. Website if people want to join in.
It's www.uymn.org.
Right at the bottom of your screen there. Thank you, Miss Amy, for taking care of that. We want you to be a part of it. So thank you very much. We'll have you back. Thank you for being a friend of the show.
Anytime, Rod.
And I got a prediction at the end of the show from Mr. Colman. So that coming up right here on Game On. Time now for our Voice of the Fan, brought to us by Fan HQ at Ridgedale Mall. We're wondering what the future looks like for Joe Mauer in 2012.
Well, you got to consider with Joe how much he's going to play first base going forward, because you got to have a viable catching option behind him. You can't have Drew Butera playing 25% of the time. You love Drew as a defensive player, but he doesn't have the stick to play that often. So do you go get a veteran catcher to play behind Joe Mauer and let Mauer play first base? And is Justin Morneau going to be healthy? It really throws a wrench into that situation.
Ever feel like you're missing out on mobile internet because smartphone plans cost too much? T-Mobile's here to help. With America's largest 4G network, Facebook, gaming, entertainment, T-Mobile gives you all this for just $49.99.
Introducing T-Mobile's best plan ever. Unlimited data, talk, and text. 2 lines, just $49.99 each for a limited time. From America's largest 4G network.
T-Mobile.
Now get $50 off our latest 4G Samsung smartphones.
Being creative is who we are.
At Wallingberg and Deeply, families are our passion. We help create new families.
This combination of experience, passion, and creativity allows us to fully represent individuals in family court crises.
Wallingberg and Deeply believes in families. We will listen, counsel, and advocate for you. Wallingberg and Deeply, the premier family law firm of Minnesota.
Welcome back. It's Game On, powered by 7, the event destination, downtown Minneapolis. Great to be with you. Second season of Game On. Rod Simons with Donnie Lick. He is a 2-time powerboating champion from Minneapolis. Great to have you here.
Glad to be here.
You know, the BIR Nationals, the NHRA up in Brainerd, they're wrapping up today. A lot of people may not know that there's a need for speed on the water, and you're one of the guys that quenches it.
Yeah, we got a little local class, Twin City Powerboat Association. We're the biggest class in the United States. We have the most members. We run about 5, 6 different classes, and some of us are fortunate enough to travel and hit some of the bigger series races. And
now you told me you travel all over the country racing. You have sponsorship. This is not a cheap sport, but it is thrilling when you're out on the water, hydroplaning on the water.
Yeah, they're basically they're tunnel boats, and the way you make them go fast is you don't touch the water, nothing but prop on the water. Yeah. It's a lot of fun. It's expensive, but it's a good time.
How long has Donnie been doing this?
You know, I started drag racing boats in 2000, and then I got into the ovals in 2001.
Really?
Yep.
Have you ever wanted to race in the Granddaddy, those unlimited monsters?
You know, we used to race with them down in Nashville, Tennessee.
Oh, yeah.
05 and 06, we joined up with them, and actually Formula One Prop Tour, which I'm actually the vice president of. We're working with some people out in Washington for a big race next year.
We're obviously coming towards the end of the summer, but you have a big race in Forest Lake coming up.
Yeah.
How do people watch that if they want to go?
Yeah, September 24th and 25th. It's a first race ever up there. Well, we raced there about 9-10 years ago.
Nice.
And they asked us back, and it's going to turn into a big race.
Donnie Lick is in the house. We're going to have more on that coming up. Thank you for being a part.
All right. Thank you very much. Thank you.
In New Orleans, we know how to throw a party.
In the UFC, we know how to kick back.
Throwing over 3,000 Bud Light contest winners, and here we go.
Bud Light's giving away thousands of trips to New Orleans for the Bud Light UFC Battle on the Bayou. Get in on the action at facebook.com/Bud Light or wherever Bud Light is sold.
It's the sure sign of fight night. Here we go.
It's turbocharged racing action Labor Day weekend at Brainerd International Raceway with the 23rd Annual Muscle Car Shootout and SCCA Trans Am Series. It's the grand finale of the Muscle Car Series with blazing 200-mile-per-hour 6-second rides. And SCCA Pro Racing returns with the Trans Am Series on BIR's highly technical road course. 2 events, 2 tracks, 1 ticket. Don't miss the classic car show, live music, and more. Get complete information at BrainerdRaceway.com. Tickets available at the gate.
Welcome back, Game On, powered by 7, the event destination downtown Minneapolis. Great to be with you, Rod, with Dan Brooks. You know him, the son of Herb Brooks. Great to have you with us.
Thanks, Rod.
Danny, when you look at your dad's body of work, and we talked about this briefly just before coming on, I am always amazed at how many levels of hockey that he actually touched. And you said there's more.
Yeah, well, I coached high school hockey 1 year, 1996-97 for Blake High School. And my dad wasn't coaching at that time, and I was going to go back. I didn't go back, but I was going to go back again, and I almost convinced him to come on and be an assistant coach. Because I told him, I says, listen, you coach every level, you've never really coached high school hockey.
Yeah.
Coach high school hockey with me. And he's like, And so he never did it. He went to work for Pittsburgh Penguins. And the year after that was coaching the Pittsburgh Penguins. So.
That's amazing. Yep. His legacy continues to grow. You're not surprised.
Well, I kind of am. You know, I was at the 1980 Olympics in Lake Placid, and you know, that first game against Sweden, there's probably 900 people in the stadium. 10 days later is the biggest thing in the world, and now 31 years later, this thing is still so big, the Miracle on Ice, and I actually am surprised it's still big.
It's an amazing thing, and I had the good fortune of being with you in Lake Placid. I think it was on the 20th reunion, 25th, when we actually walked through those tiny little locker rooms, and a special event is coming up. It's called Herbstock to benefit the foundation. Tell us about that.
Well, my father was very influential in building the National Sports Center in Blaine. He was on Rudy Perpich's commission, then Governor Perpich's commission back in the mid-'80s to build the National Sports Center. And so, obviously, the National Sports Center is the home of the Schwann Super Rink and the Herb Brooks Training Center. So that allows the foundation to do a lot of work with programs. And so one of the events we're having, one of the fundraising events, is to have a concert at the site, and we decided to call it Herbstock, and we've got some fun musical acts that are going to be performing on September 9th.
Jimmy Jameson of Survivor, Eye of the Tiger, as well as Alex Lutgerwood, I believe.
He was the lead singer of Santana, because Santana didn't sing, he played guitar.
That's right.
And then Derek St. Holmes, who sang for Ted Nugent.
Yes.
Ted Nugent didn't sing either.
And everybody thinks he sang and all that.
Exactly.
So the Brooks Foundation it's the brooksfoundation.com.
HerbBrooksFoundation.com, correct.
See it right down there. Thank you again, Miss Amy, for taking care of that.
Yep.
And we'll continue to talk about it. And thank you for taking your time out of your busy summer.
Yeah, well, thanks for having me.
And continue the great work with your dad's legacy.
Well, good seeing you. Thanks.
Danny Brooks with us here on Game On. Time now for the Wheels of Thunder week ahead. Vikings will have Dallas on August 27th. The Twins get the Yankees later today. The Lynx with San Antonio on August 26th. Don't forget Horses at Canterbury Park on the 21st. Stars Soccer against Montreal on the 27th. The Saints coming to the end of their season, Sioux City, the 23rd to the 25th. On our Wheels of Thunder radar, it's Beater X on the 25th. You see the Wheels of Thunder at the State Fair. Friendly Buffalo Car Show on the 27th, and the River City Saloon Golf Tour on the 29th. And don't forget, you can see Game On at the State Fair. I'll be with Chuck Foreman, one of the 50 greatest Minnesota Vikings, September 3rd at 3 o'clock at the Tejas Express booth, Dan Patch at Underwood. Don't forget autographs, great guacamole, and more. After Wheels of Thunder, week ahead. It is the MIAC Minute, and when you start the second season, you gotta have the boss in the house. The commissioner of the MIAC, it's Dan McCain.
Thanks for having me on, Rod.
Good to have you back.
Great to be here.
Now, summer is a quiet time for some student athletes, not for you guys. You had a big leadership conference.
Yeah, we kind of retooled a little bit, but we had this first ever leadership conference. We brought in over 100 student athletes down in Winona, gave them some great leadership programming, and now they're back ready to get energized, start the year.
You know, we've been doing this through the 40 plus weeks of GameOn, and we've met so many student athletes and coaches. There's a lot of momentum heading into the new season.
There's a lot of excitement. Anytime you can start over, have a new record, 0-0, and come in. We got some great coaches in our conference, passionate student athletes, and they're ready to go.
And not to disparage any of the schools, because we love every single one of them, but it's a pretty cool thing to have St. Thomas on radio airwaves. You're making progress on so many fronts.
We're really making some waves, you know, in print, on radio, and for you to be able to put us on a TV show every week, that's phenomenal.
And we're grateful to have you with us as well. When you look at what's ahead in the fall, anything stand out in particular?
We always have great football, and I don't want to just single out football, but we got some really good teams that are hunting down the conference title, national title, but we got great soccer, cross country, volleyball, golf. It's exciting, so there's a lot going on.
So if people want to learn more about the MIAC, how do they do that?
Go to our website, mic-online.org, all the information there, and it's great.
And you have a special shout out, you have a new staffer.
We were able to add a new assistant, Natalie Arians. She's going to be great, so we're going to be good.
And Matt Higgins is all over, who does periodic appearances here on GameOn. Love all his help too. Yeah. Thank you for being with us.
Appreciate you being.
The commission, the house, in the MIAC Minute. Don't forget, we'd love to have you join us for a live GameOn taping here at 7 at Block E downtown. Check our website for up-to-date guest updates. You can view the shows too, and stay in touch via Facebook, Twitter, and all our shows are on iTunes as well. Don't forget, it's GameOn TV.
Wallingberg and Deebly believes in families. We understand and support families in all their many forms. And when legal problems arise in the family, Wallingberg and Deebly is there. Wallingberg and Deebly, the premier family law firm of Minnesota. When you need us, call 612-326-3453 or visit wbdlaw.com.
Ever feel like you're missing out on mobile internet because smartphone plans cost too much? T-Mobile's here to help. With America's largest 4G network, Facebook, gaming, entertainment, T-Mobile gives you all this for just $49.99.
Introducing T-Mobile's best plan ever. Unlimited data, talk, and text. 2 lines, just $49.99 each for a limited time. From America's largest 4G network.
T-Mobile.
Now get $50 off our latest 4G Samsung smartphones.
Welcome back, GameOn, powered by 7, the event destination. Rod Simons and Jake LaFerriere. Great to have you with us.
It's an honor. It's an honor.
Oh, it's our pleasure. There's a lot going on behind us. It's a benefit that the Minneapolis firefighters are throwing for kids that have been burned. And you speak from experience. You're a firefighter, Station 11, Rescue 9, and you survived a burn last summer, and you're doing this for kids.
Absolutely. It pretty much started this whole foundation. FireFightersForHealing.org is the name of the foundation. And last July, me and my captain, Dennis Mack, were caught in a backdraft explosion. House pretty much went from no fire to blew up. I dove out of the 3rd-story window. Luckily, I hit a porch and I didn't die. Out of this whole experience for the last year and a month, this foundation has come out of it. When I was in the burn unit for like a month and a half, the kids that were burned in the burn unit touched me really much, a lot, deep down inside, because they couldn't understand why they were burned, even though I was having a hard time trying to figure out my own injury. So the kids touched me, and I figured, you know what, instead of being bitter and negative about this, let's make this a positive thing. So that's kind of when Firefighters for Healing kind of got its own start, and now it's got an identity, and now it's just growing. And basically the foundation tonight is our first official benefit at 7. And special thanks to 7, but we're going to continue to keep going and generating proceeds for skin grafts, corrective surgeries, a bunch of stuff that medical assistant doesn't cover in the burn wall.
How can people get involved since they missed the event?
Absolutely. They can start with our website, plural, FireFightersForHealing.org. to get more information about the foundation, and we do a bunch of events. We're actually a focal point in California as well. So we're growing quickly. We're looking for contributors and people that want to help out in the burn world and make some positive things for these kids that have been injured in such a bad deal.
God bless you for doing that. We'll list it on our website. We'll create the link for you. Jake LaFerriere, thank you for being with us.
It's a pleasure. It's a pleasure.
And thank you for 7 for helping out and making this all possible.
Thank you, Dave and Wendy and everybody at 7.
You're the best.
Thank you, man.
And it is time for our Superstars segment. You know, each and every week we take time to talk about high schoolers and all the great stuff they're doing. We're expanding that a little bit to talk about Minnesota as a whole. Lauren Nelson is here to help me. He's the choreographer of Minnesota MNHockeyHub.com. It's very cool. Tell us what it is.
It's a website, covers high school hockey in Minnesota, all 150 plus teams. We cover them all. We have statistics for every team, every game in the state.
Everything.
Everything. Anything you want to know about high school hockey in Minnesota, it's on the site.
MNHockeyHub.com is also doing something very, very special. You're listing out the 100 top Minnesota hockey players of all time. I was blown away when I heard that. And unfortunately, we didn't tell Dan Brooks just a moment ago that his dad is on the list. It just came out.
Just came out. Herb Brooks, number 100 on the list. So,
nice.
What a project. It's been a lot of fun. A lot of fun.
How did you get to from 1 to 100?
It's a lot of work. I've spent the last 3 months researching this, talking to former coaches, former players, historians, reporters who've covered hockey for 40 years, getting opinions from everybody, and then putting the list together.
And Lauren told me last week when we were talking, not only were you setting your 1 to 100 list, but people would come up in the process and you would jiggle a little bit.
I've been jiggling a lot. thank goodness for cut and paste, because I'm moving guys around every day still.
And you know there's going to be some happy people, but there's going to be some very, very unhappy people.
Yeah, I mean, there's so many great players in the state. I mean, you could do 200 great players, and that wouldn't be enough. You know, so there's going to be great players left off the list. But that's part of doing a list, is to stir up that kind of discussion and controversy.
So if people want to see the list, get their hands on it, print it out, how do they do that?
Just go to MN Hockey Hub, log on every day at noon. We release another player, so we have two on there. Where every day the list will grow. 100 days, the start of the high school hockey season, we'll release number 1.
Awesome. Lauren Nelson is with us from MNHockeyHub.com. Our kickoff on Superstars, brought to us by T-Mobile. Thank you
very much.
Great to have you.
All right.
And time now for our final word. It comes from the punter himself. Dallas is up for the Vikings next. They get back into the Dome. First preseason home game. Who's going to win?
Well, I got to go with Minnesota. I think there'll be a lot of energy in the Dome. First time back since the snow collapse, and that's one thing that we don't want to talk about, but it's the first time that the guys will be home, home for the season.
Yeah.
So I'm picking Minnesota without question.
Very nice. Wouldn't have it any other way. Thank you for being with us and letting us be a part of your Sunday. From all of us at GameOn, make it a great week. Check out our website. It's GameOnTVMN.com for all the updates. I have more on Greg's golf tournament as well. Until then, have a great week. Game on.